Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the future continuous. Last time I talked about the past continuous. And so I'm basically going through all 12 verb tenses of English. It's important to understand how events relate to one another with time. And so that's, this is how we express pretty much everything in English. So if English is your second language, it's kind of good to understand these tenses. So let's get started. Future continuous. The name is basically what it is. We're talking about the future and something that is ongoing. So basically we're expressing an activity that will be in progress or ongoing at some point in the future. Now we have two forms that we can express this in. The first form is will be plus verb ing. The second form is am, is, or are plus going to be plus verb ing. Now, basically there's really no difference in meaning here. We pretty much use these forms interchangeably. One example for the first one, I will be studying when you come home. The next one, I am going to be studying when you come home. So there's really no difference in meaning here. It's not like future simple when you had to worry about prior plans. This isn't really like that. You can basically use these two forms interchangeably. Let's look at will be first. We can use it in statements, a question, or with a negative. So statements. I will be waiting for you when your plane lands. He will be attending college in the fall. A question. Will you be taking classes next year? Will they be selling their house? And then with a negative, I will not be taking more classes next year. Or you could use the contracted form of will not. I won't be taking more classes next year. Now here's one little point I need to mention. Sometimes there's little or no difference between the future continuous and the simple future, especially when the future event will occur at an indefinite time in the future. For example, don't worry, she will be coming soon. Or you could say, don't worry, she will come soon. Basically the same meaning. I will be waiting for your call. Or I will wait for your call. Again, really no difference in meaning here. So just kind of keep that in mind between the simple future and the future continuous. All right, let's look at be going to. As I mentioned before, this form generally has the same meaning as will be plus verb ing. So let's look at the first one. We can use statements. I am going to be waiting for you when your plane arrives. You can use a question. Are you going to be taking more classes this year? And then you can use it in a negative. I am not, or I'm not going to be taking more classes this year. Now, what are some ways that we can use the future continuous? 1, an interrupted action in the future. 2, specific time as an interruption. And 3, parallel actions in the future. So number 1, interrupted action in the future. Basically, this is when the future continuous is used to indicate that a longer action in the future will be interrupted by some shorter action in the future. For example, I will be planning for our trip when she arrives. So in the future, I will be planning for our trip and then she will arrive. Maybe I'll continue planning for my trip, but this will be some action that will come and interrupt that. Another one, we will be waiting for you when you finish your exam. You finish your exam, we are in the process of waiting for you. We are in progress waiting for you at that point that you finish your exam. Now notice in these sentences that I just read, notice in these examples, the interruptions are in the simple present. This is because the interruptions are in time clauses. So you cannot use the future tense in time clauses. These time clauses begin with words such as when, while, before, after, by the time, as soon as, if, unless. So just something to keep in mind. Another way to use the future continuous is with specific time as an interruption. I will be eating lunch at 1 p.m. So I will be in the process of eating lunch, and then it will be 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. is the interrupter. Number 2, everyone will be listening for your announcement at the end of the game. So when the end of the game comes, everyone will already be ready and in the process of listening for the announcement. A third way that we use future continuous is with parallel actions in the future. So when you use the future continuous with two actions in the same sentence, it expresses the idea that both actions will be happening at the same time. This afternoon, I will be finishing our group project and Joe will be typing the report. While I am finishing the group project, at that same time, Joe will be typing the report. So both of those actions will be happening together at the same time. This evening, we are going to be eating dinner, discussing our plans, and sharing ideas. So for those three actions, eating dinner, discussing plans, and sharing ideas will all be happening at the same time. Now, another reminder for the continuous and the future continuous, do not use stative verbs or those verbs of be, or states of feeling. Do not use be and feeling verbs in the continuous. So, here's an example. Do not say, June will be being at school when you arrive. No, that's not correct. You will say June. The correct form is June will be at school when you arrive. You will be liking the movie. Not correct. You will like the movie. Correct. Because again, like, one of those feeling verbs. He is not going to be believing what you said. No, not correct. You would say, he is not going to believe what you said. Maybe I'll try to do a video of non-continuous verbs so we kind of understand how those are used. So this concludes my tutorial for the future continuous. I hope it was helpful. If you learned something, please give a like and subscribe. And there is a link in the description below for a quiz. So if you want to test your knowledge of the future continuous, check it out. Happy learning, everyone.